So today I want to talk about how to change the fact that you are attracted to the same type of men and you are attracted to the same type of people who hurt you, who hurt your heart, and you basically fall for the same trap over and over again, and how to work on yourself, because it's all about the work you do on yourself. What to do to change the game for yourself, to change the pattern that you are in. Okay, so I really wanted to make this video because it's literally it's key to start thinking that you want a better future for yourself. You do not want to be stuck in the same shit over and over again. Your self-awareness is where you start your transformation from, because with self-awareness, when you do self-awareness work, when you reach out to people who helped you with that, because we all have blind spots, when you do that, you become aware of something that you are able to change at that point, because self-awareness creates a choice. So you are able to apply the change. Just the fact that you are aware of something gives you so much power. I saw it in myself, and I could not believe, how could I not know this? And you might think, I knew it, but I didn't want to know it. You have to open your mind to it. You have to face. And it's not an easy thing to do. Sometimes it takes courage, it takes guts. It's painful, because sometimes we don't want to face the truth. We don't want to dig deep. We don't want to dig out the dirt from us. We don't want to go back to the past and see what happened there, why we are the way we are, why we do things we do. The only people who are able to change are those who want to change. So if that's you, then hello sis. Okay, so I'm gonna be talking really on my own experience, because that's how I really create all my content, like from my own experience. So I realized that I got addicted to a person is by really understanding the brain. That's the first thing. You gotta understand your brain, what's happening there. Looking at the actual pattern of my brain getting involved. Someone who gets you so high. Someone who gets you so high that you like walking high, like on drugs, and it's a real thing. And then drops you down like you want to die, or you cry every single night. The chemistry is so overwhelming that it takes control over you. Your brain in love is like a brain on crack. It's a real thing. It doesn't have to be bad. With someone that is a good one for you, at the beginning you are totally okay to be high as hell, and then it settles because it develops into deeper feeling and something very long-term and stable. So that's okay. It doesn't have to be pathological, love addiction. But often it turns into pathological love addiction because we get up and down patterns. We are getting so addicted to that feeling of getting high, but then we are dropped low, and we are going through withdrawal symptoms, and basically what's making us so happy and so in love and so high is taken away from us. So our brain is like what the heck? Like, I want more. Like, what are you doing? I want more. The research says that if we just had highs, that would be still okay. It doesn't have to be addictive, because we experience a lot of joy in life and a lot of pleasure, and we don't necessarily have to be addicted to it. We look forward to it, but we don't have to be addicted to it. The problem starts when you going through pain so deep and so sharp that all you think about is getting that hit again, getting rid of the pain. In the past I didn't really understand it, but this is why we don't want to start things too soon with a new person. We don't want the overwhelming feeling before knowing the person, because you operate only on the level of your brain chemistry, not on the level of actual reality, what this person is, or whether it's a good match for you, or whether you actually like the person, or whether you're matching, you're compatible, and all of the values that you stand by. You totally forget about them because you operate from your brain who just wants to feel and be high and be happy, and you lose the sense of reality completely, because the moment it does blow up into your face and you're going through, let's say, love bombing, so someone is throwing things at you and just he's giving you so much affection at the beginning and telling you all the things, and you just like, oh my god, it must be real. And it's not even like saying things, but it's also like doing things, so like taking you to all the great places and like treating you like a queen at the very beginning. That's what usually happen with toxic people who kind of want to get you hooked, but also they want themselves to really quickly be in that feeling too. So depending what type of a person we're talking about, but sometimes they also want to subconsciously do that, and they also want to feel that really quickly. They might be actually walking love addicts, whether they know that or not. A walking love addict is someone who constantly needs that hit of new chemistry. So it's someone who struggles greatly to stay in one relationship because he constantly, or she, needs to get that hit of chemistry from whatever place. Whether he is with that one person, he has the other person lined up already because he just needs that feeling and that high. And then once this person is on the low, he goes to another one and gets a hit. Then that person is on the low, whatever the circumstance is, and then he goes to another person to get a hit. Love addict always has someone queuing, always. And you might be one of those girls there thinking like, oh my god, and then maybe you are going through a rough phase that he pulled back or whatever the argument was, and things are not working out, and you like crying over that guy and really want him back. Then he literally doesn't really give a shit and is just doing his own thing somewhere else, but then he comes back, because they do come back, and you basically feel fucking incredible again. You're just like craving that feeling again. It's just like a bomb that comes back to you. I don't even know how to describe it. I remember when this was happening to me, like someone would inject in me instant hit from the drug, from the coke, whatever, heroin even. Never tried heroin, so I know how it is. But instant injection that it just makes you feel like
life is amazing, I can do anything.
When I experienced that wasn't even like about him and us being together. I also felt like immediate motivation to do anything in my life. I would like go to work and like smash things I was supposed to do, and I had this confidence out of nowhere, and I really did research there, and what research says, when you have that hit, and actually when you're also in love, serotonin boosts your self-confidence, so it gives you self-confidence, and then dopamine gives you that and feeling of pleasure, right? So all of those hormones like working together. There's a lot going on in your brain when this happens, and I just remember like it just gives you that feeling of like you are able to do anything for it. This is why it's so toxic. This is why it should not be like this, even though it just feels like drugs. But are the drugs good for us? Like, nah, not really. It just messes with your reality. It messes with who you are. It messes with your values. It messes with what you actually want for yourself, because you become delusional. You cannot think straight when this is happening. You're just like, oh my god, yeah, I'm in love, blah 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 blah. And you're just like totally in it, and you do stupid things and you make stupid decisions, and you are able to do insane things like spend literally all of your money just to get that hit. Go in the middle of nowhere, fly to whatever. It's a real thing. I can't believe that no one actually told me what was going on. Like everyone was saying, you shouldn't, it's bad for you, you shouldn't be doing this, he doesn't give shit, blah blah, it's bad, it's just stop, blah blah blah. But no one told me why. No one told me what is going on under the surface. No one told me what is going on in your brain. Okay, there was this one person finally that said something to me. She did some indication, even like without even trying to really speak to me. She just said something that really made me think, and that's how kind of everything started. Well, not really, but it was like a first sign for me. Like a lot of the times we feel like that it's passion. We totally mistaken it with passion, but it's not. It's toxicity. Obviously toxicity is addictive. It's getting you hooked and you losing the sense of reality, and you're not seeing who this person really is, what type of person he is, what he is representing with himself. We don't see that. We just see those eyes and this charm. And usually those guys, they are emotional unavailable, and when you first meet them, they are so charming, they are so cute, they are so nice.
Oh my gosh, they're so nice.
They put a spell on you. That's what happens. And they lock your heart. They basically, what they want to do, they want to get into your heart as soon as possible, and to do that is obviously to get physical with you and to get your energy as soon as possible. So they get into your heart as soon as possible. They feed on it, you know, and that's how you are getting your heart locked by that person. And there's a lot to it, but I don't want to make this video too long. What else I wanted to really mention, there's another thing I really want to mention, is that those emotionally available men are usually very addictive because they have this on and off pattern. They give you the emotional availability and they take it away. You know, you tasted a little bit of that and then it's taken away from you and you want it more and more and more, you know. You cannot do anything about the guy who's an emotionally available. The best you can do is just walk away, because there are so many different reasons they are like this, and it's not your job to identify that. It's not your job to help them. It's not your job to do anything about that. So the only question you want to ask is like, why I did not identify the red flags of that type of person before I gave myself to him. That's what we want to know. There is a light situation here. A lot of the times why we really attracted to those guys is because we end up in relationship with whoever reminds us of the most troubled caretaker from our childhood, or from the most troubled person in our family, who remind us this type of love that we were getting from that troubled family member, caregiver, or whoever. For us to identify that and change that, start changing that, is to go back to what happened there. You know, what type of love you were receiving when you were a child, and why this type of attachment is happening to you, because this is what you think the love is. Like, when you think about it for a second, you think that toxic love is the love. You think this getting high on this guy is what love feels like. You think, and I really did think that this is the type of love I want to have, and this is the type of love I want. Like, I just want to go crazy for someone. I don't want to be just like boring and like not feel ecstatic all the time. That's what I felt. So maybe you also think the same. You have to try so hard for someone, or you have to have this bombing chemistry and up and down patterns. So maybe you really want to ask yourself, like, what love means to you? What love is for you? Like, what does it mean? That's really first thing to do. Realize what love means to you, and literally list all the qualities, all the values that in your opinion love is to you and you want in your life. And then really look at the pattern you are in and ask yourself whether it reminds you of something, whether it's maybe brought from your childhood, whether this person reminds you of somebody. Does he remind you of somebody? You know, there's a lot of things that can come up for you. Because what you might realize, and that's what I realized for myself as well, is that the person that you are with might have the attachment style that perfectly matches with you, but they are actually opposites, okay? So they are so destructive together, but they bonding together so well, right? So if the person is avoidant and you're anxious, you want more and more and more and more of him, and he's like, pushing you away. That is not satisfying, right? But this is what makes you more and more hooked, because you want more and more of him all the time. You just want your hit, but then when finally he does come back to you, and almost certainly he always does when he is in this toxic circle and pattern himself, and is not as a safe, secure person, he gets his hit too, because he comes back to what he cultivated, right? So he comes back to that high again, like he gets high too, but he pulls away, or he push you away on purpose. That's what he does. But then he knows that he has control of you at some point. He loves that, and he comes back and he gets that hit, and you get the hit, and you guys like, oh my god, and you're like in a good place. But then it starts all over again. You're actually not happy when you think about it. Like, ask yourself a question: do you actually like the person? Because most of the time we don't even want those type of people. Do you actually think it's a good match for you? That's what I mean. Like, do you think it's a good match? Like, do you think like this person's life matches your life? Like, ask yourself that question, because I realized that nah.